Hi, it's Soulfully Jaded Tarot back with another pick a card reading. This one is What Change Do I Need to Make? Pile number 1 is going to be Snowflake Obsidian. Pile number 2 is going to be the Unikite. Pile number 3 is going to be Sodalite. And pile number 4 is Bloodstone. So pause if you need a minute to decide, and the timestamps will be in the description box below. I'll see you at your reading. So if you chose pile number 1, the Snowflake Obsidian, what you need to change is the negativity in your life. I feel like the negativity in your life is just overtaking everything. And it could be negative people surrounding you and their energy is affecting you. It could also be your own negative self-talk. You could be very hard on yourself. Whatever the case, there is a lot of negativity in your life that you could really do without. And in the meditation that I just did before this reading, I was thinking how Snowflake Obsidian represents purity. And that's group 1, pure of heart. You need to nurture that purity of heart and not let negativity surround it. You need to let it grow. And in my meditation, I thought how you're trying to grow this and nurture this positivity and this purity, but there's just seeds scattered everywhere and they're weeds, and it's just seeds of doubt and seeds of saying that all the what ifs and I'm not good enough and all these things. You could really do without all those weeds in your garden. So it's time to identify the weeds, start pulling them out, and clear some things in your life in order to get rid of negativity that is in your life. Pile number 1, what do you need to change? You may have a friendship or a partnership or a relationship of some type, and it's either ending or you are wondering if it will. It's not feeling great. There's a spiritual poverty here. There's this lack of not having enough, not feeling enough, always being on guard, having to defend yourself. But there's also stability and comfort, familiarity. If this relationship or partnership or friendship is causing you a lot of negativity, which with these cards, you know, feeling left out in the cold, feeling broken, beaten, battered, on guard, you know, it doesn't seem too great, but you would know, not me. What does pile number 1 need to change? You may just have to change the way that you interact in this friendship or partnership or relationship. Especially if it's a family member, you can't really give up on someone. This card signifies a homecoming of some sort, like returning back to someone. So if you are already single, maybe you're feeling like this on your own with this, I'm not good enough mentality, that you feel you can't start the relationship you're thinking about starting, in which case, start it up. So basically the change I see is there's some sort of friendship, relationship, partnership from the past that needs changed with one specific person. If you're single, that would mean try to go for it with the person you're interested in. If you're with someone, maybe you need to re-strategize where you guys are both at and communicate to make the situation better and eliminate the negativity in the relationship together. Clear out the air. This may be someone that you've known for quite a while. Let's see what the charms have to say. Drink a toast to a ghost. And that might not be a literal ghost. If it is, then you know who it's to. But it could just be someone from your past that you think about often. Breathe in, breathe out, move on. That's another thing I was thinking for you in my meditation, that you need to clear out the negativity and find your balance again. And the way to do that is through centering your breath and centering your energy, grounding yourself. And breath is a really great way to do that. It's a very important part of yoga for that reason. If you don't think about the future, you can't have one. So another change that you need to make is, if you aren't someone that really looks ahead or plans for the future, you might want to start making some sort of a plan. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Adventure can be real happiness. So if you're just sitting around not doing anything, you need some sort of a change. You need some sort of an adventure. Even if it's just taking a walk around the block, you just need to do something new, You have the makings of a winner, so don't give yourself negative self-talk if that's your thing. End that. In all of the things in nature, there is something of the marvelous, so you might need to get outside and get into nature. That's a really great way to balance yourself, center yourself, and just feel positive energy. Trust is the union of intelligence and integrity. He who wants a rose must respect the thorn. Socialize with compassion, kindness, and grace. You might be a little bit hard to get to know on the surface, but deep down you're a softie. Resist a temptation to take shortcuts of any kind. So if you are someone that just kind of takes the easy way out, it's time to do things right, at least just for right now. That's a really great approach and a good change to make in your approach. Life is a gift, don't waste it. All happiness is in the mind. So, as cliche as it sounds, happiness really is a choice. It's choosing to be grateful and appreciative for every little thing. When I wake up in the morning and I think I'm grateful for this soft bed and this roof over my head, I'm grateful that I don't have to be hungry, I can go eat something right now. There's so many things in life to be grateful for, but if you don't stop and smell the roses and learn to be grateful for these things, you can kind of fall into a slump. And then you do get this lack mentality, and it reflects and manifests itself into your life, where the universe says, okay, if you're not appreciating these things, why would I give them to you? Like, you know, you really just have to be grateful, and that's the easiest way to raise your frequency and your vibration. And the quickest, easiest way is just make a quick list of things that you're grateful for, and you'll just feel yourself get better. All happiness is in the mind, and it's all about perspectives and how you view things. So pile number 1, what you need to change is just try to weed all the negativity out of your life. Anything negative, anything at all, just find it, weed it out, and you do you. You got this. Living your best life out here. And you can choose to be happy. You can choose any life you want. You can choose an infinite possibility list of, yeah, you know what I mean? Just have a great time of it. It's your life. There's no room for negativity. There's no point. You don't need it. Get rid of it. So thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you again in the future. Adios. Hey Pile 2, welcome to your reading. Today we're going to be looking at what do you need to change. And this stone is Untitled, and it is a stone that helps aid in healing. So if you've been like physically ill recently, or are pregnant or trying to get pregnant, or just not feeling well and you're not sure why, you just feel off, but physically just not feeling well, this is a good stone to have around because it helps heal. It also is very good for intuition because it balances out your emotional and your spiritual aspects, and where those meet is where you find your intuition. So with this stone, I'm seeing that it is important for you to practice mindfulness. Whether you are trying to just grow your intuition more, or whether you're recovering from an illness. When I was doing my meditation, I did feel like my body was really heavy and sluggish, and like it was weighing me down, like I was kind of being oppressed by my own body. And then at one point during the meditation, I did feel like a little nauseous. So I do think that there may be some people in this group that have been physically ill coming through, and I think that you need to pay more attention to two main things. How much are you moving your body? Because no matter what state you're in, even if you're laying in bed, you can pretend you're moving fake weights and just go through the motions, and then maybe eventually work your way up to doing water bottles, and you're working your upper body. Or you could pump your knees to your chest and just, work out that way. If you can't get up and run or do yoga or any other form of exercise that you enjoy, even just walking, there's some sort of movement you can be doing. So mindfulness, ask yourself, how much am I moving and what am I putting into my body? You need to pay a little more attention to what you're eating, what you're drinking. If you're doing anything to excess, especially something addictive or toxic, you should probably think about cutting back on that, because your health should be a priority right now. So any and all changes regarding your health and making it better and improving it, and I'm talking your physical health, not even just like mental, emotional, anything like that. Just really make changes towards improving your physical health is what I'm seeing for you, pile 2. Alright, you got a lot of cards here. I see that there's been some energy of maybe someone lying or manipulating a situation or not telling all of the truth about something, and that person caused you to maybe feel some like a victim, and you just felt trapped and isolated, and the whole situation just kind of, left you a bit jaded in a way. So what we need to change is leaving energy like that in the past and moving forward to more optimistic energy, because when you look at the card, the 8 of Swords, this woman, her feet aren't bound. She could walk away. She's not tied to a tree or a pole or any of the swords. She could slip up to a sword and cut her hands free and take the blindfold off even if she wanted, but she just remains trapped in the situation. So the change you would need to make is any sort of victim mentality, or just feeling like so caught up in the negative feelings of the past. A good change would be to let that go, because a lot of times your emotional and mental health can affect your physical health too, especially when it comes to things along your digestive tracts. Your brain really controls that, and if you have too much anxiety or grief or anything like that, it throws off your whole system. So it's good to just make those changes as well, because that helps your physical health. I see that things are balanced. If they're not, they will be. And that may be a natural change that will happen as you balance your own health and you take control and try to move and try to eat better and things like that. So I see if there were any sort of addictions that were holding you back or bad habits that you had, you'll be getting rid of those. That's a good change. And you'll be focusing more on the people surrounding you and the good vibes and just how much you all love each other. And just feeling better. If you take control of your health and make changes, you'll just physically feel better. Let's see what the charms have to say. It would be best to maintain a low profile for now. So if you've been one of those people that are maybe a little codependent and you've been reaching out to people a lot, it might be best to just kind of center yourself, get back to your own self, and just kind of focus on you and what you want and what you need. Create the sequence of goodness. Consequences will always be good. Life is like a cycle, and that's what karma is all about. It's like the wheel of fortune. It just turns, and you can try to be on the good end of that cycle by just putting out good. You can stay at a good place in the cycle. So create the sequence of goodness. Consequences will always be good. So you get what you give. A good change would be to take a mindful approach to even social relationships and the way that you treat yourself. Commitment is the daily triumph of integrity over skepticism. Trust is the union of intelligence and integrity. There definitely needs to be some changes in your health that are made, especially regarding your diet and the things that you're eating. You need to be more mindful about what you're putting into your body, because that will affect how you're feeling. And if you want to feel good, just like this message says, you need to create the sequence of goodness. Consequences will always be good. So just keep making good choices that you know are good. Let's say you're on a gluten diet, gluten-free, and you're feeling good because you're on the good end of the cycle, but then you're like, because I'm feeling good, I'm just going to reward myself and try it just once. I'll eat real pizza. And I consider gluten-free pizza to be real. Especially the cauliflower crust. I love that stuff. But, just saying. Don't slip up. Just keep creating the cycle of goodness. And it's hard, but by being mindful and present of each decision you're making, if you're someone that has lung problems and you know that, but you're still smoking cigarettes, you should probably think twice. Because this message is all about you need to make a change with your health. Sometime today you will believe in nonsense. This may be that moment. I'm kidding. Or, no, I think you do need to make changes with your health. And I think you just need to feel more comfortable, and maybe you'll start to feel lighter and just better. You won't, I felt that heavy, bogged down feeling during my meditation, and I think if you start to take your health into consideration, you'll just feel better. So that's all I have for you, pile number 2. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and hopefully I'll see you in another one. Whoops. We'll just pay attention to those 2 main things. Am I moving my body, and what am I putting into my body? Practice mindfulness. Thank you, pile number 2. Adios. Okay, pile number 3. You chose the sodalite. And when I first picked this stone up, I felt a lot of anxiety. And I had just bought it from a shop and I had not cleansed it. So I don't know if someone who had held it last had a lot of anxiety, or if that was the energy of you, pile 3. I just know that there was a lot of anxiety when I first picked the stone up. I cleansed the stone under running hot water, And then when I held the stone afterward, it felt just this peaceful, creative energy. And I don't believe in coincidence, so for whatever the reason, I felt the anxiety, and then after the cleanse, there was this creativity. I think that's symbolic of the fact that you may be struggling with a lot of anxiety right now, and I think that is what needs changed. I think that you are a creative person and that your anxiety is blocking your creative expression, but it's the lack of creative expression that's causing so much anxiety. So it's a really bad cycle, it feels like. And I think that it's really important that you change the anxiety, and one way you can do that is by expressing yourself creatively. And also, I think that you should do some sort of detoxing. I think even if you just sit in warm bath water, you don't have to add Epsom salt to the water, but I personally like to, because there are such things as ritual baths, and you can turn any normal bath into a ritual cleansing bath if you just give it intention. And also Epsom salts would help. Any like gems or whatever you want to use could help. I mean, that's up to you. But at the very least, I think you should soak in warm water just to cleanse your aura. Because just like you can cleanse the stones under the water, you can cleanse your own aura. And I think that's kind of necessary for you right now in order to help change the anxiety and eliminate it and get rid of it. You might think about the past a lot, and that's cool and everything, but if the past and the memories that you're thinking about specifically are causing anxiety, then I think it's important to leave the past in the past at that point. If it's not serving you, to look back on the past as a way to learn your lessons or a way to be grateful for the moments that you'd shared with loved ones. If you're just looking back on the past as a way to punish yourself, then that's not healthy, and that's something you need to let go if that is the case. I think you need to find more inner peace and balance in yourself. That's something that needs changed. Going out in nature can help with this. I feel like you're kind of stuck in this period of indecision and isolation and introspection, but you're kind of blind to the situation at the same time. You're closed off and you're guarded. You're on the defense. You are in tune with your intuition, and you are very calm emotionally and spiritually. However, you're refusing to make a decision of some kind, and that needs to change. I think that if you've been sitting on the fence about some sort of decision, that might just be causing you some anxiety or other negative feelings that comes from bottling things up and not dealing with them. And I think if there's any decisions that you've been putting off making, I think that now is the time to start really thinking about what you want to do in regards to those situations. I definitely think that going out in nature, even just for a brief walk, would help a lot. And I think maybe grounding yourself is necessary right now, because daydreams are great and everything, and like goals are awesome, but if you don't have any plans to make those goals and dreams a reality, if you're not actively taking steps toward making it happen, then you're not really going anywhere. So there is a balance that you need to find between fantasizing and taking action on certain things. And I think that there may be a lack of trust within yourself, and that needs to change as well. I think that you need to be more confident in your abilities. You are capable of making decisions. You are capable of creating beautiful things. I don't think that you should doubt yourself for 1 minute. I think that you should recognize your potential. And if you don't already, then that is definitely something that needs to change. Alright, let's see what the charms have to say. Alright, pile number 3. I see that sometimes you might lose hope or optimism in things. That needs to change. You need to keep that hope alive, because the hope is there. But it's just, you gotta really believe in yourself and believe that things can be good, because they can. Intelligent conversation is a revelation. So maybe you are feeling a bit isolated, and it might be good for you to reach out to someone that you love, someone that you trust, and talk things out, have some conversations. And especially if you know that you're going through some things and you know someone that's gone through similar things, they might be able to help you out. So just opening up and having some conversations about it could help right now. And if you're someone that's normally closed off, I think that that's something that should change, at least for now, to help through this period of growth. Turn off the TV and the computer and exercise your mind with a good book. So even just reading a chapter a day, if you can make a commitment like that, you can get a book read, and it's a really great way to center yourself, find balance, and to also kind of like ground your mind and body together somehow. I mean, you've read, you know, it's an experience that can change you, and it's something that's very healthy for you. So if you're not typically someone that reads, I think that a good change for you would be to start trying to create the habit of reading a bit more and integrating that into your daily life if you can. Love where you live and live where you love. Be sure to be extra grateful about every little thing. Being grateful and showing gratitude is the quickest way that you can raise your vibration almost instantly. You just feel better. If you're feeling down, if you list off just 3 things you're grateful for, you'll start to feel better because you're focusing on the right things and you're changing your perspective. And instead of worrying about your problems and staying in this negative cycle of anxiety and depression and fear and negative thoughts, you can actually make things a lot better for yourself emotionally if you put your best foot forward and try. I see that you like to stay busy, and maybe that's a distraction to keep your mind off of things. If so, that might need to change, because you do need to take control of making some decisions, take control about making sure you get out in nature, that you're listening to your body and mind, and just kind of doing what you feel intuitively called to do to ease your anxiety so that you can create, because I do think you are a creative person and you need to express that. So any way you can find to detox, even if baths aren't your thing. Maybe try drinking like a detox tea or something like that, like foods that you know are good at detoxing. If you like saunas, you can go to a sauna and sweat it out. There's a lot of different ways that you can detox your body, and that helps with your mind a lot. And I think that's a process that might help you at this moment to cleanse your aura and rid yourself of some of the anxiety that you may be feeling. I think that you should also try to definitely get outside. That might calm you down and ease your mind. Reading a book for sure will help. So that's all I have for you, pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Hopefully I'll see you sometime soon. Adios. And don't forget to keep shining that light. Stay on the sunny side. And detox, yeah. You got this, pile 3. Adios. Okay, pile number 4. You chose the bloodstone. What do you need to change? I feel like there's conflict going on, and it almost feels like being in a war zone sometimes. And I think that what needs to change is that you need to be more assertive. You need to stand up for yourself. I feel like you've been very passive before, and that the change is that you need to defend yourself, speak up for yourself, have a voice, and know, especially because this is bloodstone, if you go have some, go buy some, you can have its value for its yourself, and it's basically a stone that will protect you and give you courage. And I think that you need to have courage to assert yourself and know that you are protected. You are divinely guided and protected. So I think it's time to have a bit of a voice. So in the past, you may have felt like the victim. Like there was someone that said a lot of hurtful words, and they stuck in really deep, and they piled up all around you, and you didn't see a way out. You just felt trapped. But you're coming out of that energy, and you're starting to realize that you can walk away from the situation. So if you are in a bad situation now, or you are in a victim mentality state now is the time to walk away. And that is the change that you need. All right. So someone may have said a lot of hurtful words to you. There's a lot of painful energy here. It's not even like a actual war zone. Like it's not a fair battle and not a fair fight. It's more of just an attack. If anything, it's an attack on you, and it's time now that the changes that you need to start defending yourself, speak up for yourself, have a voice, get yourself out of this situation. That is the change that you need. I think that when one door closes, another door opens. And that change is the only constant in life. So change is never to be feared, but embraced. Always got to move forward. I see that there is a happier future in store. You'll find a lot of healing and rest, though possibly more isolation. I feel that you're isolated now as well, but a lot of looking inside, introspection, and just using your logic to know things, using your heart to just feel things and just know things, and trusting your gut, you know? Just getting back to basics and healing yourself. Addressing the past when necessary in order to grow. But I think that the main change here that you're looking at is that you need to find balance in this situation. It seems as if there's some sort of an attack on you, not to be dramatic or anything, but just a verbal attack. You know, it seems as if someone is saying a lot of things, and it could even be yourself. It could be negative self-talk. You could be just putting yourself down constantly. If not, it's someone in your environment that is doing that to you. But whatever the case, it needs to end. You either need to have a better relationship with yourself, stop the negative self-talk, or if you do have a good relationship with yourself and you love yourself, then you know better than to let someone else treat you any less than you would treat yourself, and that you don't need the hurtful words. So, let's see what the charms have to say. I see you wanting some independence. You might want to be alone or be single for a while if you're not already. If you are now, you're very happily single, independent, doing your thing and whatnot, but definitely a lot of independence there. Sometime today you'll believe in nonsense. Could be right now, you never know. Commitment is the daily triumph of integrity over skepticism. So if you have issues committing to things, like leaving a situation, for example, I think that you need to realize that there's a million doubts you could have. You could be skeptical that it could happen, or, you know, there's a million what ifs. What could go wrong, worst case scenarios, but at the end of the day, it's like ripping off a band-aid. You can't just be a doormat. You have to assert yourself every now and then and stick up for yourself. Turn your scars into stars. So I think the past is something that you could learn from and grow from, and you can use your story, no matter what it is or how intense it is or isn't. You can use your story to inspire others who have been down a similar path or will be down a similar path, and you can help guide them. Just inspire them through the fact that you came out the other side. Drink a toast to a ghost, if you know any, or maybe just someone from your past you think fondly of. There may be separation. That may be a change. That, of course, with the independence, I mean, if you are with someone it's very likely that you will separate. But if you are single, it's likely that you'll stay single. But the main change that you need to focus on inside with yourself is to be more assertive, and don't let people treat you like you're less than a human being or that you're not worth anything, because you're beautiful and you deserve everything that life has to offer. And just like anybody else, you're out here living your life and doing your thing, and you don't need nobody bringing you down. Ain't nobody got time for this right here. All the hurt and the pain and it's just, life's too short, and I think that you need to make some positive changes towards being your own advocate in life and sticking up for yourself. And I think that's the best way you can show self-respect and self-love, is by doing that. So I hope you enjoyed your reading, Pile 4. And I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're watching. And maybe I'll see you sometime soon. Adios.